Kris Jenner from the Kardashians is panicking and has reduced Corey Gamble's allowance. Hi, before we continue, please subscribe to the channel for all Kardashians news and update. Kris Jenner has always been someone people talk about, not just because she is the mother of the famous Kardashian and Jenner sisters, but also because of her own personal life and choices. One big topic that has followed her for years is her relationship with Corey Gamble. Many people have always believed that Kris, who is very rich and powerful, has been supporting Corey financially since the beginning of their relationship. They started dating around 2014, and people immediately began talking about the 25-year age difference between them. Because of that age gap and Kris's massive fortune, some fans and critics believed that Corey was more of a person who received benefits from the relationship rather than being an equal partner. Now, a new report says that Kris is having some money worries. She is still very rich, but she might not be spending money as freely as she used to. The report claims that she has made a big decision regarding the amount of money she gives Corey every month. Instead of getting the large amount he used to, he's now getting way less. It is said that Corey used to receive hundreds of thousands of dollars every month as a kind of salary. He also had the freedom to use Kris's credit cards without asking and could take cash advances anytime he wanted. But things have changed. The new report says that Corey is now only receiving about $10,000 per month. On top of that, he is no longer allowed to use Kris's credit cards without asking first. He also cannot take cash in advance and now has to pay for his own transportation. That means no more free private jets, first-class flights, or being driven around in Kris's cars unless he handles it himself. This is a huge shift from what he was used to, especially since he had a lifestyle that allowed him to enjoy all the luxuries Kris had. From wearing expensive chains to riding in top-of-the-line luxury cars, Corey had access to all of it. But according to the source who shared the story, he now has to live within tighter limits, and that's been hard for him. Even though Kris is reportedly watching her spending more closely, it's not like she's struggling in a serious way. Her net worth is still around $170 million, which is a very large amount. That puts her among the wealthiest in the celebrity world, and she still has a lot of influence and connections in business, television, and branding. Still, times are changing. People all over the world are talking more about budgeting, saving, and not being too flashy. Maybe Kris is feeling some pressure to live more wisely when it comes to money, even though she is still incredibly rich. It's important to know that Kris is not the only wealthy one in the family. Her daughters are all very successful in their own ways. Kendall Jenner and Khloe Kardashian each have about $60 million in net worth. Kourtney Kardashian is worth about $65 million. Kylie Jenner, who became a billionaire at a young age thanks to her beauty brand, is said to be worth around $700 million now. The richest of them all is Kim Kardashian, who is reportedly worth $1.7 billion. With all this money in the family, it's not like Kris would ever truly be broke. Even if something were to happen and Kris lost her entire fortune, her daughters would still be able to live in comfort and help her if needed. But that doesn't mean Kris isn't thinking about the future. There have been questions about the family's reality show, The Kardashians, which currently airs on Hulu. Some fans have been wondering if the show might be cancelled or if it is doing well enough to continue. That might also be affecting Kris's decisions when it comes to money. If the show were to end, that would be one major stream of income gone for Kris and some of the family. So it's possible she's trying to prepare for anything. However, it was recently announced that Hulu has actually renewed the show for 20 more episodes, meaning there is still strong interest in the show, and the Kardashians will continue sharing their lives with the world through the screen. Even with the renewal, people have noticed that the latest version of their reality show is different from the original, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Some longtime fans say they miss how real and raw the old show used to feel. They say that the new show feels more polished, more planned, and less emotional. So while the show still brings in viewers, not everyone feels the same excitement as before. That may or may not have an impact on how Kris is planning her financial future, but it's definitely part of the bigger picture. All of this has led many people to wonder if the story about Kris cutting Kourtney's monthly money is true. For someone like Kourtney, who has enjoyed a very expensive lifestyle for years, going from getting hundreds of thousands of dollars to just $10,000 each month would be a big change. Not just in spending, but also emotionally. When someone is used to having no limits and suddenly they are told they have to ask permission or pay for things on their own, it can feel like they've lost power or importance. For Kris, this could be a way of protecting her money and making sure she stays secure in the long run. Even if she loves Kourtney, she might feel that it's time for him to be more responsible and more independent. She might want to see how he handles himself without all the extras. Maybe she's testing the strength of their relationship by seeing if Kourtney is willing to stay by her side without all the money benefits. After all, people often say that true love shows when the money is not flowing as freely as before. There's also a chance that the story is being blown out of proportion. Sometimes people who are close to celebrities like to share personal details with magazines or websites, even if they don't have all the facts. It's possible that Kris and Kourtney had a private conversation about being careful with spending, and it somehow turned into a big story about cutting allowances. Maybe Kris is just being more careful, not actually struggling. And maybe Kourtney understands and agrees with the plan. But because the story makes for exciting gossip, people are running with the most dramatic version. Regardless of what's really happening behind closed doors, the idea that someone as rich and famous as Kris Jenner is watching her budget shows that even people at the top can feel pressure to manage their money. It also reminds everyone that relationships, especially high-profile ones, often come with extra stress when it comes to money and power. If Kris and Kourtney are adjusting their relationship and financial agreement, it could be a sign that they're trying to grow or move into a new phase of their lives. One thing that's very clear is that Kris is still the boss of her family and her brand. She has helped build an empire that reaches all corners of the world. From fashion to beauty to reality television, Kris has guided her family to great success. That kind of leadership comes with a lot of responsibilities. It's not just about making money but also about protecting it. And maybe now, she is being smarter about how she handles her money and who gets to spend it. For Kourtney, the change might be tough at first. He has lived a certain way for many years. But if he truly cares about Kris and their relationship, he might be willing to accept the new rules. He might also find new ways to support himself or prove that he is not just there for the money. That could actually help their relationship in the long run. Fans will surely keep watching to see how things unfold. Whether on the show or in news headlines, the public is always curious about what's happening with Kris and Kourtney. Some people support them and believe their love is real. Others are more doubtful and think the relationship has always been more about convenience and lifestyle. Thanks for watching. Please do well to share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more Kardashian updates.